And we're live.
Hey, yo. So, we usually don't do an intro, so we're going to try one today. I'm going to make one up on the spot. What's up, guys? It's D and E. And what the D stands for, Demar call me D-Star. And what the E stand for?
Yeah, just aiming.
Okay. Yeah, you know, he just want to be like that. It's all good. Welcome to Swollen Nerds, the Plebes, where we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Random, logic, real life, not real life, fantasy, whatever's on our freaking minds. We're here to teach. We're here to learn. We're here to vibe. Come join with us with the Plebes, and we live.
So anyways.
Right? Let me know if y'all like that one. Let me know if y'all like that one. And you guys can catch us on Rumble too right now.
So how was your week? Did you do anything crazy this week? Anything eventful happen?
Well, I published my ebook.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right.
I finished my ebook. And I published a planner for kids.
Where can you find them?
It's in review right now on Amazon. Okay. But they'll both be on Amazon.
They'll be on Amazon. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep you updated on that.
But yeah, this week been chill, bro. I just been yesterday was kind of tough. Wow. It's, all the entities and stuff, family shit, my shit, people shit, whatever, just had to go through a little experience, but it was much needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. What about you, bro?
Oh, nothing eventful. Just been working and anything. I've been I got the baby coming. So,
oh shit! In August?
Yeah, in August coming up soon.
Little tiny black ass baby.
Yeah, it'll be mixed, all right.
Yep.
Listen, it's mixed, all right.
Little star seed.
Yeah. Little star seed. Yep. Listen, it's half white, half black, right? That's 1 point.
But you know why you like? Well, your daddy white.
Yeah.
So he's white. You probably. I mean, you got some what was it? North African in you, like a month.
North African.
You gotta have some North African in you, man.
Where? What do you mean?
I mean, you Italian.
That is true.
And you're not a light Italian.
No, that's a good point.
You a Southside Italian.
That's right. I'm Sicilian.
You a hood Italian.
That's true. That's where the mafia started.
Yep.
Sicily. My people, son.
Mm-hmm.
We originated taking out kneecaps. All right, that's what it is, bro.
Hey,
you better. We all have a cousin named Vinny. Even if his name's not Vinny, the baseball bat is named Vinny. Okay.
Facts.
Yeah. What does he do? I don't know. He just got a baseball bat. It's named Vinny.
He breaks knees.
Yeah, we don't.
He breaks knees.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Vinny don't break
knees. Just don't owe Vinny any money. All right. But anyways, nothing too crazy. I'm just excited about that ebook. I mean, tell us a little more about it. So it's a lifestyle, right?
But so man, I've been working on this for a minute. This one, I think the reason why I feel like it's taking its time, but only because I've been trying to find my voice and just kind of how I want to explain how I want to share information. So basically, bro, it's a basic. I don't call it basic, but it's a book on. But once you make a decision or helping you make a decision, like, man, I'm gonna get my life together, man. I just want to be better. Like you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I keep it simple with how you make those step by steps. Like it really just take those small steps and you're like, man, okay, well, you're changing your life.
Yeah. So I want to go back to something you said there, though, like, being sick and tired of being sick and tired. I think, what is that like when you say, like, the rat race, right? Like, I guess it's another word for it, but, I mean, that's a lot of people. You
gotta be, bro. Okay. I really and that part of that was motivation for the book, too. But you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. I really, I don't think
that's a motivation.
Yeah. I think it's a point that you have to reach. I think it's a point that you have to reach. Because it's the only way that you would transform. And the only way
that's true. Well, I think that's like the universe telling you, hey, look, it's time for you to move on and to evolve. Like I had a really interesting conversation today when I got with the barber, and he started talking about numerology and stuff.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah. But, shit, why did I bring this up? What were we just talking about? I'm sorry.
It was about
Life cycles, that's right. So he was talking about how in numerology there's this thing where every 9 years.
I knew you. I knew you about it. Okay, come on. I knew you about to do it.
Yeah,
I'm about to fuck your head up. Please do. Come on.
And every 9 years is like an evolution, right? And to change. So the first year is like the year of building and figuring it out, and the second year, and so on and so forth. By the 9th year is supposed to be the end or death of whatever was going on in those 9 years, and then you're supposed to then start over into something new. And then, all right, listen, I know you guys, it's just audio, but as I'm talking, Damar is just getting more and more shaky and hyped up. He's starting to like get his legs moving. So I think I'm gonna let Damar go. Keep going. But no, it's really interesting, right? So to your point about the life cycles, I think there really is something there, and I think that either it's something that you intrinsically feel like depressed, like I heard Jim Carrey explain depression of your body telling you it's time for this character to end. Maybe it's the same thing as that. It's your body telling you, listen, it's time for you to start something different, or maybe it is the universe and it just is what it is every 9 years. It just like clockwork.
Look at it. It's the proof is right there. The proof we all see it. You see it. Mm-hmm. We just never correlated it. Mm-hmm. I'll tell a quick ass story. So when I was a kid, I think I told you this story. When I was a kid, I remember being at recess. I just retold this story to my pops. I said, because we was talking about that. We was talking about 9 years and change and stuff like that. Okay.
What?
Okay. So I remember being a kid, and I don't know how we got in this. I was in the 3rd grade, got in this conversation. I said, man, if a black man ever become president, that's the end of the world. Right? So I'm in the third grade when I said that shit, right? Mm-hmm. So when Obama ran for president, I'm in Louisiana. All my friends like, you not happy that a black man gonna be president? I'm like, no. Boy, I was scared as hell.
Why?
Because I said because of what I said in the 3rd grade. So,
but why did you believe that?
It wasn't something that I believed.
It's just something you.
Something I even now to this day I don't know why I said it, why it popped up, and my innocence was curious.
So
right?
Now, where?
So now look, when did Obama become president? 2008.
Yeah.
We were in the numerically.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the 8th year of 2000, mm-hmm. going into the 9th year. What was his slogan? Change.
Yeah.
Stop it. So now, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna make a great
2008.
Mm-hmm.
8 and 2 equals 10. 10 is this 9. Drop the 1, the 0, and 9 is the same, so that's change. So it was still an end of a year. It was still a 9-year cycle. It was still a 9-year cycle based off the numerology of the year. And numerology of the timing of the year was a 9 too. So and the slogan was, we want change, bro. And what happened to this country after he came? Everything motherfucking changed.
Yeah. Well, we're in 2024 now, which would be at the end of another 9-year cycle.
2025, check this out. 7, 8, 9. So they got there's an agenda for Agenda 2030. This is all the shit that we're seeing, right? Mm-hmm. So, and they're trying to speed the shit up. Mm-hmm. 2025 numerically is a 9-year.
Yeah.
Shit's about to get stupid around 2025, where we about to have a lot of the shit pop off because it's a 9-year. Things gonna change in 2025. Like, look at where we at right now in 2023. Do you see? Like, look what we doing with AI and all this other shit in 2023. 2025, we're going to be in a whole different. 2020 to 2023 was a whole nother shift. 2020
it really was.
Now 2023 to 2025, bro. Every 2 years. So now looking at every 2 to 3 years, we're in a whole different space of life.
Yeah. Well, no. So it's interesting that you brought up the year 2025 because that reminded me of something, and people can fact check me, but there was this research done out of Stanford. And saying how like they were doing a bunch of like math and using a bunch of computers and AI and shit to basically figure out if we keep going on the track that we go on, what year is like how much do we have left, right? And it was like, and I remember it was like 2055 or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you think, dude, like 2025, right? You're explaining it's the end, right? But 2055 is only 20 years from now. You know what I mean? 30 years from now. So 30 years. That's what, only 3 more cycles.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's 3 cycles.
It's interesting whenever it correlates. You know what I mean? The timing of everything correlates.
Now, it doesn't mean like that. Now, that doesn't, because when we get into these conversations, like, I don't, because everybody talk about this shit, but they always go into like this fear mongering state.
Mm-hmm.
End times, change, all this stuff, like, that's universal. That's natural. There's never nothing to be scared of. You know, of course, change is like always uneasy. So every time we go through a change, we always go through a resistant time. I mean, think about whenever you're going through something and you change something in your life, how resistant something can be. You could be resistant to yourself, or some outside source could be resistant to you as you're trying to move forward.
Mm.
It's the same thing. So like, see, but we have so much like demonization and like fear mongering that when we talk about like stuff like this, people are like, "Oh my God, how much time we got left?" Yeah. Like, well, how much time in this time of period do we have?
And I think too that you have to restructure the way you think about endings, because think about it like death, right? Like a tarot card, right? Yep. Where it's not actually death, meaning that you're going to die and that's it. It's the evolution or the death of that character, or the death of some portion of your life, or some portion of something going on that's related to you or associated to you. So, I think when you talk about the fear mongering, it's all based around that, the end, the apocalypse. It's over. Mm-hmm. But you have to understand, well, okay, it's the end of what? Humanity? Really? We believe that it's going to be the end of humanity? We are obviously much more adaptable than that. You know what I mean? We've survived 2 that I can think of catastrophic events. Ice Age being one of them. And we adapted to that.
Well, see, they got it here, but let me hold on now.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse, etymology. So, like, apocalypse, just means take the veil off. Mm. Like, it doesn't. So in our dictionary, apocalypse means end, destruction. It has this like doom and gloom. But the true meaning of apocalypse, is just to show the truth, to lift the veil. Like, there's but bro, it's a new and it's just like, and actually apocalypse means beginning. Doesn't mean
so it's like a new beginning.
It's a new beginning. Right?
Yep. But that's interesting, because then, like, if you even look in the Bible, like the apocalypse, the great judgment is the new beginning of something else, right?
Yep.
And it's not the end of the world. It's just, it just is what it is. It's a new beginning to something else.
If you read Revelations, you can read Revelations as the first book if you wanted to, and then read Genesis as the rebirth.
That's interesting. Well, that's an interesting thought, though, because then you're thinking, right, we're going to get really stoned deep here for a minute. Mm-hmm. Parallel universes, right, in alternate realities. And if you believe in, like, we could say God, right, or whatever it is that's created, whatever we are, but maybe it was all trial and error, right? I'm sorry, guys, if you hear snoring, that's his dog, and it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Shrek mode for sure. Yep. Anyways, what was I saying? What was the last thing I was talking about?
Oh, you're talking about parallel universe.
Yeah. So, but to that point, right? If there is something that's creating all of this out there and all these different, there has to be trial and error, right? And it's like, it would be naive of you to believe that this is the first time that this has ever happened.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Dog.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dog. Yeah. It's like, look, bro, the Bible says itself, there's nothing new under the sun.
Mm-hmm. Stop it.
There's nothing new. So now, okay, so I've been here before.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. Then we've done this before.
Yeah.
There's nothing new on the sun. And I think it's like this, when y'all gonna get it right. Because it's like this cycle. Does the 360 stay to 360? Or are we supposed to expand the 360?
That's interesting. Well, but then 360, right? The globe.
Because what's the point of like, okay, we're gonna do this shit again? Then at some point you gotta be like, I don't want to do this no more. So like, if I'm gonna create a cycle, if I'm gonna create life and then let it do what it does, but I notice this pattern, but we have the ability, we have free will to break patterns. Why are we all in the same pattern? to work for so it can work with us. I mean, work against us, for us not to change it. Like, we can't repeat this. We're repeating the shit over and over. We have to leave. We gotta leave this old way. To be, you talk about new parallels. This will be one parallel that, okay, it's gone. We left that shit. We gotta expand somewhere else, because then we're doing the same thing. The fuck? That's insanity.
Well, and I think that, like, if we just want to get, like, really local with it in, like, America, right, just to keep it local, there's a shift that's going to happen, and I believe in the next probably 100 years. It will take a while, but we're going to realize we don't need government. We don't need that higher power telling us what to do. We don't need that, that strict way of living. That totalitarian society, right? And whether we like it or not, that's what that's what we have created, right? And also that's like emphasis on the fact that we created it, right? We, the people, were the ones that elected the people that created this. Whether we were manipulated or not, it is what it is. And because think about it, how much really does your federal government at that level really affect what you and me do?
Bro, I was seeing this the other day. I was like, bro, y'all sitting here with these damn videos talking about what the government doing. Okay, cool. All right, then how did that personally affect you in your life?
It did.
Seems to me you in a whole nother dimension, like a bug. You think the bugs outside are worried about what we going through?
They just care that they can get their food tomorrow. That's all they care about. But that's the point, right? This is something that I came to a profound understanding under an extreme mushroom trip, is that our one goal every day is to just make it to the next one. Right? And then our next goal is to do that with everyone else. That's it. That, like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's that simple.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all you are here. That's why you were put here, was to make it to tomorrow. And what you do with that is what you do with that. And in my opinion, that is the greatest gift you could ever be given.
To enjoy life.
Yeah, exactly. But whenever, the people up here want to tell you that you can't do that, or to do that you have to do this, that, and this, the barrier to entry to happiness is so far because of the restraints we have put on us, not because of the restraints that are out there in nature. If you really think about it, again, all it is just you, your feet, and nature.
Bro,
and you make it to tomorrow.
I always like to take it back. If I ever get stuck, or if I ever get confused on something, I always strip everything away. Like, if none, like, okay, I was born in here, and I'm here. I'm born in this space. If I didn't have to do this, what would I be doing? Right? So, okay, then I go into its nature of what I would be doing, and then what I would add on the things that I'm doing and see what that still looks like. And it's like in your nature, like all that other stuff is your talents and gifts, like, they are here to expand the universe, they're to expand our space. But in all essence, and I will say that, and you've been out, like, being around different cultures, and also experiencing a few different countries. Like, when you see when you see people, it's like, well, seems to me what they really worried about is hanging with their people. They got their businesses. It's how they make their livelihood. This is the concrete jungle, and having a good time. Like, in its base form, in its most simple, I'm like, well, we doing too much.
Yeah.
Like, we glorify being busy.
Yes.
We like, bro, I'm busy, but busy is status.
That's so true. Like, we live in a society today where if you're not busy, you're a loser, right? If you just sit around and whatever, you're a loser, right? Because you're not providing any value to me, or why am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? It comes from a place of selfishness. Whenever I do understand it, right? I do get it. Yep. Everybody should pull their weight. That's the point of a tribe, You know what I mean? You have the hunters, you have the gatherers. You
right.
know, that's the whole point.
Gifts and talents.
Exactly. But with that being said, whenever you, and I will attribute that when I'll talk about myself here, I can't sit and watch a movie. It's impossible for me to sit and watch a movie without getting up and going. I have to like do something else for a second. I have to occupy my mind, or else I won't watch the movie. You know, I'll start talking to you about whatever. Like that's why I'm a horrible person to go to the movies with, because I will talk to you over the movie, and I'll make you laugh or at the movie. If it's a horror movie, and you know it's one of those movies where it's the blonde chick with the blue eyes, she's beautiful, she's trying to get into the door, she's wrangling all the keys, you know, and she drops them, and then there's the guy right behind her. I'll be like, oh, what a fucking idiot, you know, I'll be that guy,
right,
you know,
right.
But. And then my friends are over here just laughing because everybody else is screaming, and I'm like, oh, I'm laughing because. For example, I thought the movie Scream was a comedy. I didn't even know that it was a horror movie.
No,
when you watch it in the lens that it's supposed to be, it's funny. It is funny,
bro.
Yeah, it's hilarious
for real.
It's like a scary. It's like scary movie. It's like one of those scary movies.
Because I'm like, bro, that movie don't make no sense to me. It is funny. Like, what? Y'all, the fuck?
Yeah, the whole time.
This ain't even a ghost. Yep. This nigga in a costume.
Yep.
What?
Yes.
You see? But I see, bro, I like my movies. I ain't going to movies with your ass. I'm taking that shit up. Yeah. I went off on some people that was talking in the movie. You know, like, man, y'all shut the fuck up. Please. Listen,
well, either that or then you hear, like, you know, some globs going on.
Oh, my God.
And then you turn around and it's like two kids that are in high school and you're like, shit, now I'm a pedophile. Hey, and now you got to go watch another movie.
I'm out. Man, get my teeth back, dog. Shit, I can't be in this mud. Nah, bro, you're right. The best of this, bro. Like keeping it as like keeping it in its simple. Like there's no like busy, bro. Busy, like bro. Busy ain't bro. Busy with no purpose. Like a bee. Yeah. A bee is busy getting busy with the trees and the flowers, right? So it's busy. It's a busy bee, but it has purpose. Yeah. Right? Busy for the sake of just saying your ass is fucking busy is retarded.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If you ain't got shit to do, if there ain't nothing for you to do right now, then ain't nothing for you to do.
And I always hate it when people blame an entity, but I 100% blame the internet for that.
Oh,
because of the maybe social media or just the
short shit.
Yeah, you know, causing our attention spans to just be taken away from us to the point now where you actually have to teach yourself to have an attention span. Because if you don't, like if you, for example, today I was at Lansing Park. I was just sitting there, you know, watching birds or whatever. Right. And my phone was dead, so I put it in my car to charge it. About 20 minutes in, I'm not thinking about I'm just like having, you know, a good time sitting there, inhaling the fresh aromas of marijuana. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I forgot to text this person. I need to go do it right now. You know what I mean? But that's what the phone does to you. It's like, and then I literally had to, like, as I was walking, I stopped myself halfway to my car, and I'm like, do I have to do it right now? Right. And my next thought was, well, I don't know what time it is. And it's like, well, shit, I don't know what time it is, so let me go to the car real quick, you know? But no, ultimately, man, it's like, it's like you're a crack addict. You need it. You know what I mean? I need it.
You know what
and you justify it.
This is what I do when that happens to me. Because I get busy brain like that too. Yeah. Like I feel like I gotta do more. Like okay, if it stopped, it stopped. So I find myself like wanting to do more, or like question myself, or like or making myself have thoughts of like doubt or like, oh, you ain't doing enough. I literally tell myself, man, F you.
Yeah.
I like, man, because I've been doing my shit, so F you, bro. Don't be trying to get me to do more shit. I'm about to go sit my ass down. But, you know, if I'm in this space, then that means I need to be in this space. You're not where you're not supposed to be.
I agree with that 100%. I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything. Everything happens for a reason.
That's what Peyton taught me.
Peyton
taught me that. Painting?
Oh, painting. Yeah.
Painting, yeah. Painting taught me, like, well, damn, if my intentions is to create something beautiful and I just let it flow, then every stroke.
Then it will be. Every stroke will just be so goddamn beautiful. And then the canvas is just sitting there like, please stroke me some more. And you do.
Bro, I couldn't even say it. I was like, why does keep coming out?
Yeah. And then you just keep stroking and keep stroking.
But there ain't no stroke, it's a wrong stroke.
That's right, especially when the stroke keeps on stroking. Anyways.
I'll be stroking.
You gotta stroke, man.
Uh-huh.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, that's like, nah, bro. Like, being, like, I'm like, man, that's why, like, when we, whenever, like, we started doing the thing, I was like, man, nope. I said, when you at the bar, you working. When you at the bar, you work. When, like, fuck that. If there's something that you got that takes your brain power, all right, bet. Like, there's like, I'm not gonna negate all the way work, but no, when you're doing something that you love, it's not work.
Yeah. Well, and it was something that you actually said last time, and it might have been on the last podcast, I don't remember. But it was just something you said. Once it starts to feel like work, that's when you're like, okay, let me go take 5 minutes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because that's something else that I heard from another, like, big lecturer guy. He was saying that you go for 30 minutes, rest for 5 minutes. Go for 30 minutes, rest for 5 minutes. That's how you study. And over the course of 6 hours, you'll get a lot more study time done. But it's the same thing you're saying. You know, whenever I write my jokes, if I'm sitting there, it's like, this feels like I'm doing a lot of work to get this out.
Gotta get up.
I gotta get up, and then I come back, and then all of a sudden, dude, I can just write for the next, 30 minutes.
Yep.
And then I have to, get up because I haven't eaten in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it is what it is.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good.
What was that thing you said?
I was just saying that, sometimes I'll be writing jokes and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you're really having fun. So what I was doing, I was doing one of my projects, and time went by. I was like, what the fuck? 4 hours went by.
Yeah.
But see, I didn't know it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So when you stuck, because when
that flow.
Yup. Yeah. When you stuck, you start seeing how long you're doing. Now you're like, man, well, let me try to get 1 more hour. No, fam. If I may have a strong day where I'm just like, man, I'm in that creative flow. Let me get on. And it don't happen all the time. And I think that's an addiction. It's an addiction. We try to reach that all the fucking time. But you gotta know that sometimes your flow is can be only for a few moments. It can be for a long period of time. You just gotta know when to ride the wave, bro. When to ride the current.
That's so true.
So with myself, when I started to I realized damn, okay, when I'm doing stuff that I love to do, time just go by. But if I have tasks that I need to get involved, that I need to get done, and it's I get it done and that's it. I ain't got nothing extra. Now if it flows, I'm doing a task and it flows, I'm gonna keep going. I won't break the flow.
Yeah.
Because I have to do a task. And I'm trying to get to the next task because I got to get it done. I will not break the flow. Maybe that's what I got to get done today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And whenever it's you have to make that to-do list or whatever, and you're saying maybe that's just what I had to get done today. Sometimes I will create that to-do list, right? Okay, this is stuff I want to get done.
Yep.
But I won't hate myself if I don't get it all done, or if it's I've tried, or I spend more time here than I thought I was going to spend, you know, because I was enjoying it. I won't hurt myself because I read some extra pages today and that's why I didn't have time to do this because I have to go to work. You know what I mean? It's just how life happens.
Yep. And if it's, you want to talk about productivity.
Yeah.
I'm productive.
Yeah.
You're productive.
Yeah.
If think about it. When you're if you're doing something for 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, but those 2 hours, you were just zoned in. Mm-hmm. Look how much stuff you got done in 2 hours, opposed to doing 4 hours for the sake of I gotta just do it. Yeah. The fuck?
Yeah.
No.
You're getting nothing done in those 4 hours.
And you're more efficient. And then maybe the next day, you may do 4 hours because that was the flow. Yeah.
Well, and it brings me to something else that I was actually reading this article about called monk mode. And it's this new productivity technique where for people that work from home, where they'll have only the tabs open that they need open, and then have some music in the background of something some of that chill vapor wave shit.
Lo-fi.
Yeah, lo-fi.
This dude said vapor wave. I ain't never heard vapor wave.
Yeah, that's some of that real shit. All right?
I ain't never heard Vaporwave. I'm gonna get on that.
Yeah, I think it's a thing. I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know. We might be.
Yeah. But and you sit there and you only have these tabs open, and he's like, and it was this guy talking about how he could get so much done in 1 hour that he used to try and get done in like 6 hours. Enough to the point that he could have 2 jobs, and he had 2 remote jobs. Dude was making like $1 million a year because he was also like some high tech CIO or whatever, like high executive, but for 2 different companies because he could break up his time this way. So it's the same thing you're talking about.
Yep.
Being able to focus, but also setting up your.
You said they call that monk mode.
It's called monk mode,
bro.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this, bro, because this is what I do when I'm like, when I have to get stuff done, when I need to like reorganize the day thing on my computer. Dude, I'll pull up the tabs that I need. I'll put on, for me, it's like gotta be some type of like deep house music. I've been getting like this ethnic, like, it's called like ethnic, like house music.
Oh yeah, you were listening to it last time.
Yes, and like, dude, once you like those sounds, they affect the brainwaves. So I had that in the like, let me before I forget, because I know I'll jump on the fucking brainwave.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'll pull that up, and then like I'll go in, and then I'm like, I'll go like I call it Zen mode. To me, I call it Zen mode. Yeah. But it's funny they call it monk mode. I'm like, what the fuck? I do this shit anyway. Yeah. And so even you see on my computer now, like that's just from like last 2 days. Now when I go back. So when I hop on tomorrow, like I'll lower some of them, and some of them is like, okay, I know it's already saved, but I just gotta have it right there. But I do find that when you have all those tabs on there, it's just too much, so I have to shorten it. But I shorten it daily though. I shorten it daily.
Well, and that's just kind of how your brain works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But. Like you have 175,000 tabs open, but you also think about 175,000 things at once.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like me, I need 2 tabs open because I can barely think about one thing at once. Because I forgot what I had for breakfast this morning, and my shoes on the right foot, maybe sometimes. But then I wake up and it turns out that I don't have any pants on, so I have to go back home. It turns out I was at work, dick and balls out. Then I get fired. Yeah, just balls. Just my balls though.
Damn, was I plugged in or not?
Was I plugged in? Yo, I wasn't wearing the tail that day.
I wasn't wearing the tail that day. You stupid, bro.
Anyways, speaking of tails, I was watching this dog at Lansing Park today, and this is a true story. This isn't a setup to a joke. I know, but it was.
I was like, catch me slipping.
No. I was watching this dog at Lansing Park, and he was with his these 2 people, this couple, and they had paddle boards, right? And at first, they put the dog on the paddle board and they pushed him out, and he had like a little vest on. It was cute, little life vest, and the dog wouldn't go. Like, he went out, but he didn't go much further than he could stand. Right? So then you could, see his ass was going up. He was ready to jump off the thing. So he eventually jumped off, and he paddled back, and the board was just kind of hanging out there. But he paddled to where he could stand and went. But it wasn't that much further, right, than where he could stand. So the couple ended up going on the paddle boards, and the girlfriend puts the dog on the paddleboard, and they end up going out, right? And the dog at first was kind of nervous whenever it was going about as far as it went before, right? It started to get nervous. It was standing. You could tell he was looking in the water. But then once it went further, and the other guy was on the paddleboard, was going further, and he was standing, and the girl was right behind them. Right. The dog sat down, and it was calm, right? And it was able to go way further than it ever could. Ultimately, to the point, long story short, that it went so far out that they ended up falling off the board, and the dog, had to get back on. It was fine, but it was all happy to be out there. But originally, when it was by itself, it couldn't go much further than it could stand.
Right.
So the point of me bringing that up, right, is whenever you. And again, there's not a punchline here. I'm not trying to be funny.
I'm waiting. I know y'all waiting for him to get to it too. I'm
like, it's not.
What we talking about right now? Dogs, their paddle, their water and shit.
Just wait a minute. if you want to get further than you're comfortable with,
right,
you have to have people who are willing to push you beyond that point, right? Because if you go by yourself long enough, you're only going to go for as far as you can stand, right? But people, if you can surround yourself with people who can push you, you will, be able to go further than you can stand, like the dog, to the point where if you fall off, it's okay,
right?
Because you have those people to put you right back on the board. You keep going.
So,
the moral of the story is that you don't want to be a lonely person who's going through life just trying to be on the board and just, going with the current until you're too scared because you've gone too far and you jump off and start something else. If you want to start something and you really want to be passionate about it, you have to surround yourself with people who are willing to push you, because you will get scared, especially in the beginning, right? When you need people the most. You know what I mean? Because when you start something, it always sounds stupid in the beginning.
How does motherfucker go into a motivational speech? We talking about
you're right.
You know when I think a dog, I'm like, what the fuck? You want a motivational speech? Y'all gotta watch E, bro. I was playing.
That was the point, man. Yeah, listen, we'll be doing our seminars.
I'm not playing with him. Like,
that'll be doing the seminars.
Like, look, y'all, we going to a dog story.
Be careful. You might start crying.
Bro. Is he telling the damn dog and the paddle joke again, the story again?
Well, it's a good story.
I'm fucking with you, man. I will be fucking with you, though.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, boom! Motherfucker!
I'll just be like, hold your tomatoes, man. Hey.
I'm playing, bro. No, you're right, though. No, you go out there and then you were in, you're in the journey by yourself. You meet, you go as long as you can, and you meet people along the way, and help you catapult, and you end up, like in this different cycles. Like that's why, like us people working together, like people, like everybody. If you could do everything, then everybody, you would have one. I look at it like this: you would have your own little universe, your own little planet with just you, with all the skills and the knowledge that you got, that only you won't be on that planet, and that's you. But that ain't the case. All of us on this month, right? With different skills and gifts and messages and talents and ideas and things, but that are all in unison with the common thing that coming together makes sense because we are pieces of the puzzle. Like we're pieces of the puzzle, man, that makes the big picture. But when those puzzle pieces are scattered, then you just got one scattered ass puzzle in a box. Just sitting there rotten. Ain't nobody putting it together. Just cardboard going to waste.
Damn. Yep. Nobody wants to be that.
And nobody wants to be
a cardboard box without a homeless person in it.
Nope.
It's like it's like a home without a home person.
Bro, speaking of homeless, did you get I saw, what was it? LA or out here. I said, down in St. Pete, bro, like, as a homeless situation, like, because I'll be down there at times, I'm like, bro, I swear, like, there are more homeless people.
That's what happens whenever gentrification. That is the outcome of gentrification, is more homeless people. And what will happen is that those homeless people will be people like, for example, in California, there would be homeless people who work for Google. They're making over 6 figures, but they can't rent.
I heard some shit like that, bro.
So they'll be living in their car in the parking lot of Google, and then they go to work with their kids and their wife. That then they go to work and they go to school and they come back and they live in their car. Bro, and that's what's going to happen here, and it's going to happen. Like I'm not even going to say, that's what I'm saying, because you'll be seeing like I've noticed that the homeless people as well are like more dressed up. Like, they don't look homeless.
Bro, yeah. I did it, dog.
They don't look homeless, right? And they're trying to trick you. I had one the other day come up to me, tell me if he could tell me a joke. He told me a knock-knock joke. I gave him $1.
Oh, shit.
Then I shoot him away like a rat,
Oh,
bro. But anyways. I told him I had a business meeting, so I told him I was sorry for being rude, and he went on his way. Another time I had another homeless guy come up to me. He was a black dude. I locked my car like a proper racist.
Oh, shit.
But then I cracked my window a little bit because I felt bad. And I was like, hey, what's going on, And he comes up to me and he goes, hey, man, my name is Steve. He goes, I own this construction company. I'm trying to get some funding for it.
He really tell you that for real?
Yeah. He goes, yeah, for real. And he goes, hey, my name's Steve. I'm trying to, like, get this construction company going, and I'm looking for funding. Hey, man, no. Then I'm just, like, listening. And then he goes, hey, man, my name's Roger. I'm doing these little projects, so I'm just trying to see if I can get some funding. Same dude.
He said his name was Steve, then Roger?
Yep. And then he goes, hey, man, my name's Rodney. He goes, hey, my name's Rodney, man. Can I I need a few dollars from him. I'm just trying to catch a ride on the bus, whatever. And I'm like, hey, man, I thought your name was Steve. And he just stares at me. And he has, one, man's here that rolls down his right cheek, right? And then I feel bad, and I give him, a couple quarters or whatever. And then I shoot him away like a rat,
Man, bro, F you, bro. The fuck? Dog, I'm sitting here like, that sound like Hustle Man from Martin.
Yo, okay, but there really is a dude that sits down there, and I swear to God, he's got bipolar or something. He's got multiple personalities, because he really did come up to my car, and I don't really remember the names or anything, but he was talking about how he was a businessman and shit like that, and now he just goes around. The other day, I saw him fighting a stop sign with his shirt off and shit.
Oh yeah.
And but he's it's funny to think about, but he's gone crazy, and he has just gone down. And I think that I probably met him before because I saw him another time, and he goes, "Hey man, I like your shoes," and I recognized who he was. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's crazy." And for me, I'm also a little bit crazy, so I'm like, "Oh, nobody talks to this guy. I feel bad. Let me talk to him." What I mean? I'm like, "Thanks, man." I was like, I got him at blah blah blah, blah blah. I like your shoes. Where'd you get them from? And he just yeah, man, and then just. Just looked away, because he wasn't used to people talking to him.
Yeah.
And that just broke my heart when I see it. And now this guy, because he is a crazy person who's been completely isolated from society, he, fights stop signs for a living and sits out in the middle of the street yelling at cars,
Man,
and
I was, but I noticed that in St. Pete, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, but you, talk about cycles. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
So y'all know this shit gonna happen.
But
why not have a plan?
They don't care. That's the thing. You have to understand how politicians think. It's all in numbers, right? I'm gonna make this much money. We're gonna probably lose this many people due to homelessness.
And this is why.
This much. But we're gonna make this much money. So then in 20 years, it's not gonna be worth it because there's gonna be too many homeless people. But then we'll just take all our organizations and we're just gonna move all our criminal shit somewhere else. Now we're going to probably go to Oklahoma and where everyone cares about right now. That's what's going to happen, dude. No, but listen, it's not. It's not going to happen because it's so much money. And I was saying this to Nyla the other day, and sorry I'm going on a rant, but no, I was saying this to Nyla that I truly believe in St. Pete that there's a lot of crime and money laundering going on because there's a lot of what used to be really shitty neighborhoods that aren't gentrified, you know what I mean? But the businesses are really nice. They just got paying jobs. No new employees, you know what I mean? But obviously out of nowhere, the food's not any better. It just, or the gas isn't any cheaper. It just looks nicer. And to me, that's I've seen that movie. I've seen that Criminal Minds episode. You know what I mean? There's some crime shit that's going on. Because if you think about it, too, what are all the companies that are moving in here? Construction, real estate. Those are some of the two biggest, money laundering crime. That's what they do. That's what the mafia did. That's what the Italian mafia did in the 90s. That's what the Sopranos was about. Was they owned a construction business. Mm-hmm. And so when you just think about it in that lens, because I'm a crazy person who's too paranoid and I smoke too much weed, it's just there's too many coincidences for this paranoid guy to sit here and go, wait a minute, there's got to be something that's going on. Because there's too much nice, but not enough in the places where there needs to be nice.
Scientology wants Clearwater. Scientology is one of the biggest.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mafias here. St. Pete. I'm St. Pete. What was it? Actually, actually, that's what I was trying to get to. What I was trying to get to was I know, because when I moved out there, I was like, well, when we moved away from there, I noticed like, there's a lot, like certain spots, there's a lot, and it's like I've seen. That's some weird shit. There's a guy at Vinoy Park who takes pictures of women, and I've noticed that many other times. Yeah. Oh, and then like no, bro. He like, dog, he be sitting there, he be sneaky. I caught his ass. And he saw me, and his ass left. And I'm like, bro, he was like, dog, this is weird. But I noticed a lot more of that shit going on around, like a lot of weird ass shit. But I was like, damn, there's a lot more homeless people here. But like, I found out, well, shit, a long time ago. I ain't gonna say no names, but there is some like deep ties out here.
Russian mob. I know there's in Clearwater. There's probably a lot of Greek.
They did a documentary. Some shit on a documentary.
But there was especially in St. Pete, there was, and I don't know if there still is. I'm sure there is.
Right.
A lot of there was a strip club that was right off. You know where Sundial is, Williams Park.
Yep.
Right across the street from Williams Park, there used to be a strip club that was once caught for like kid sex trafficking.
Dude, like bro, it was something I saw some shit about. Like Tampa was like big for that shit.
Well, and Tampa recently got FBI raided. I think in Largo too. Fact check me. A lot of what was it? The massage parlors where you get like a blowjob at the end. What are those called? Happy endings or whatever, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And the little Asian girl that comes in, but she's like 14, like that type of shit. And there was a lot of that in Tampa, Largo, Pinellas Park, and FBI raided.
There's a port in Tampa, right?
And there's a lot of shipping shit that comes in here too. And this guy that I was talking to today that gives me some medicinal things that you smoke.
Right.
He made a joke today, we were talking about, I was asking him about sativas, like the 100% sativas, and I was like, because he was saying that it's hard to get that nowadays because of crossbreeding, whatever.
Dude, yeah, I thought so.
And so I was like, well, who do you get that from? Like, what part of the world does 100% sativa usually grow? Because that's where it's best to grow, because that's the type of shit he knows. It's just really interesting to know.
Right.
He goes, well, I don't know, but he goes, I don't remember what it was. He goes, well, you could just ask the Filipino mafia if you want to. The whatever it is, the Filipinian mafia. Oh. And he made a joke. And I was like, oh shit, dude, that's kind of funny. But I was like, oh damn, you're being legit right now. You know what I mean? Like when you know the guy's being serious about you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you like this. So when I moved out here, I got to know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. In the last, 10 plus years been here, I got to know a lot of, we got to know a lot of people. And it wasn't until later that they left, that they left the picture that I realized what a lot of people were into and who they were. And I was like, I met a lot of people and really cool with a lot of people who are involved in a lot of crazy shit. I'll tell you one story. I know this dude. And this motherfucker was running. Yeah. Running shit for the Jamaican mob, bro.
Oh, they're messed up too. They'll come at you with machetes, bro.
Dog, this nigga got in trouble.
Yo, by the Jamaican mob? Was he still alive?
Him and his girl, whatever. His dad was involved in shit. I mean, bro, it was crazy shit.
Yo.
He got in trouble. Bro, I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I remember, no shit, but this is why, things had to go, how they had to, because I didn't process none of that shit. I mean, it wasn't nothing that I was, I wasn't involved in that shit, but he would tell me these stories, and this nigga was stressed out, dog. He was like, yeah, man, bro, I'm dealing with some shit right now. He was trying to run a business, he was trying to run a supplement company and stuff. So this dude was trying to run, that type of money, for, to run a business, but his ass did something stupid. And I was like, wait, you got these niggas after you? like when you in like real life and like you ain't involved with that shit, like none of that, like
that's
you don't see that shit, that because I don't think
especially
and then we like you don't really process none of shit. Like wait, Mark, you gotta have a network, bro. Mark, like bro, you don't play them games, dog.
That's whenever it was like, oh shit, that was funny, but. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what the fuck, bro?
What you're talking about right now is like, that's some fucked up shit.
And he would go to the islands. He would go to the islands.
That's crazy.
Every now and
really,
he would go to the islands every now and then.
They smoke different there, though. So in Jamaica, because Rastafarians and Rasta is like really big there with the dreads and everything. But you have Rastas.
Yeah, you better watch it because you know they.
No, I know because there's two. There's Rastas and then you have the other ones. I do not remember the names of the other ones. Do you know?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay. Okay.
No, I don't just want you, bro. I don't disrespect her. Like,
no, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I know. No. Listen, I don't need anybody like coming to the door right now with a machete. I'm just saying that.
Just you, right?
Listen, I'm just saying it's gonna be okay. I'm just talking. I don't really know what I'm talking about. We're just two civilians, two plebes talking about some shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I do know that over there, the reason I brought this up, that when they smoke weed, they don't use anything that they believe is man-made. Right? So they'll grind, instead of grinding up their weed, they cut it with a knife on a cutting board.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
I think I did tell you this. And so they cut it up with the knife and they roll it with like a natural, like they'll go and get the tobacco leaf, rip a piece off of it, roll their weed right there. Like that is they believe in trying to smoke weed the most natural way.
Like from Earth.
Yeah, and it's very Mother Earth, and that's what I've always loved about it. It's very Mother Earth, and it's very like grounding and very in tune with nature. You know what I mean? And how you smoke, and that's how I've always tried to smoke, is like trying to keep it as, you know, a relationship with it and understanding.
Yeah, bro. It as a tool. I'll be like, that's how I don't know about a pie. Ain't no pie, man. Look. I meditate with it. Yeah, I really do meditate. I love it. So here we go. Like even I can make a ritual out of it, bro. It's like, man, it's just, you know, everything is perverse. You know, everything is perverse. That's normal. You know, and as long as you're doing something, that is most pure. I'll just try to keep the most pure as possible.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important. Like being, like you said on the last one, being true to yourself.
Yep.
And that's how you can maintain the most pure, is being true to yourself.
Yep.
You know. So anyways.
Bro.
So we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but I want to talk about it on here. We were talking about Dion Cole earlier.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So tell me, I'm gonna need some water real quick.
Yeah. Here, drink some of this. Dude. I didn't drink it. Oh. Yeah, drink the rest of that, bro.
Hey, Boobs. Would you come over here and like?
So I remember one time whenever
But you talking about Dion Cole.
I was talking.
You can't flip it.
But I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, we're back. By the way, we took a second.
What's actually the number? Because I put some.
Number?
What's the?
Oh, this time? Is.
What's the time? Oh shit. No. I'll.
Welcome back.
Yeah, 316. Like 316. So I can add something in that, like
53.
I add something in the middle. Somebody cool.
You know, somebody cool.
Yeah, maybe.
Who's cool?
I don't know. Maybe somebody, an artist, or one of our friends, or maybe if you got a business you want to promote, you know, put it on there, send it to us, email.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the bio at swollennerd2@gmail.com. That's the one you use. That's the one we use, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways.
For sure. But you talking about Dion? So So I told you to see Dion Cole.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Tell me what you thought.
Okay. About him.
Yes.
So first off.
So by the way, I hope y'all remember that E is a comedian. Bump. We call him Man As Is. He's a comedian. So you know. We getting them right. We getting them right.
Studying right now.
Studying.
I'm in year one.
Yeah, year one.
I'm still an infant.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's good though.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's what's gonna make you a good. Yeah. Because you humble about that shit. And it's fun to learn.
And I get to wear diapers.
Facts, bro. You know? See, bro, you get to be a baby again. Exactly. And we were just talking about Chardon.
Don't shit the bed. I always shit the bed. Next to matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dion Cole. Yeah, no, he's really funny, obviously. But what I liked most about him was like the first special I saw on YouTube.
Yeah, which one?
Was just him throughout COVID working his shit out. So it was him going to different like clubs, and it would be like his first time jokes, him telling these for the first time, just going, listen guys, I'm just working this shit out. And like you could see him like going through, he's got a premise, and he would just go through it on stage. And he would, tell different punchlines or whatever to the same joke. You're good. But he would tell different punchlines, go, and like, and then go and write it down or whatever, But what I liked most about him was you could see in his early stages, whenever he was like really working his shit out, that he would have the notebook right there.
Yeah.
But it would still be like so funny, and he would incorporate that into his comedy,
Mm-hmm.
And that was it was really cool to see that, because you don't see any other like big comedians doing anything like that. They're just talking to their audience, and it's supposed to be like, that's what it's supposed to be. When you think about like a stereotypical stand-up act, is you just go up there and you're listening to this guy rant and talk for too long because he's too stoned and he likes to hear himself talk,
But it's like engage, keeping like the audience engaged. Like, okay, like anything, like being in front of like people, right? Social media actually helps with that, because on stage you really don't see nobody.
Yeah.
On your phone you don't see nobody unless you click on them.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you're on, like when you're on stage, you own yourself.
Your craft.
And it's who you are, right? And engaging with however you engage. Everybody has a different way of engaging with people. So if you have a notepad, if you got a notepad, and like that's how you engage. Right? Ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah.
It's just whatever, how you do stuff, and it's usually everything that you do anyway.
Yeah, that's true, and that's the whole point, right? That's like that stream of consciousness thing I was talking about. Is you're taking something that you already are passionate about, and something you already can talk about for a long time, and you just talk about it, and you eventually will say something funny because it's but it's like having a conversation with your friends, right? And it's reenacting that same thing, right? You can do it by yourself, where you just sit there and you write or you talk out loud and you just talk. And I've done this before, like without even noticing, in a deep acid mushroom, whatever I could get my hands on trip, because I was in a dark place at the time. I'd lost a ball, but it's okay. Left one. Don't worry about it. It's not true. Anyways, I don't even remember my point.
Yeah, bro.
That's the thing.
That is the theme. What's your story?
Stream of consciousness.
Wait,
hold up.
Yeah,
you missed it.
I did. Sorry, I missed it, guys.
So I know you was telling me when you got here that you wanted to get that better.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Gregory, watch him. Have you ever heard of him?
Dick Gregory.
And you always even with stream of like you said, stream of consciousness is always something that gets to the people's mind.
Yeah.
To invoke thought. Now that's like that's like Cat Williams comedy.
I like that.
Now Cat Williams takes a stream of consciousness. I don't know what types of jokes. I know you got the book, but he takes streams of consciousness and twist it with different forms of comedy, because a stream of consciousness is, I need to get a message out.
Yes,
and comedy
that's the point.
Is always, why you think the king always had a jester? Come on, bro. Go ahead, do it. Come on.
Well, no, because the whole jester, he was the only person that could talk shit to the king and not get his head lopped off for it. And not meet the whatever it was, the guillotine.
Execution.
Yeah, the guillotine.
The guillotine,
and shit like that. And he was, but that was his whole point, was to make fun, because it.
About somebody, real shit.
But somebody was smart enough to realize that the comedian, their whole job is to put light on a dark situation and show you your bad side. And that's the whole point. That's like the original basis, fundamental comedian, the court jester. That's the point.
It's to even go. So E is reading The Serious Guide to Joke Writing.
Mm-hmm. So by Sally Halloway. How to say something funny about anything. If anybody is trying to start getting into stand-up comedy, I 100% recommend this book. It gives you, sorry to go off on a rant, but it gives you a bunch of different like ways to like different joke writing methods, but it doesn't tell you what jokes to write. It just tells you where to start, and then it tells you how to write your own jokes.
When you they're like so the
stream of consciousness. Sorry, again, is one of the last chapter or one of the chapters in the book that we're talking about.
Yeah, because you kept saying the book. I'm like, you probably know what the book is. But like the good comedians, right? That's like be real, like to like really sit and think on it. Mm-hmm. Storytellers.
Yes.
Storytelling, right? Storytelling is like there's nothing like if you're ranting, you're telling a story, you're either giving an opinion, telling a story, and people are listening, right? Having that conversation. Mm-hmm. And all good comedians, right? Bro, what like outside of like comedians having really good punchlines, like okay, Deion Cole. Yeah. Like Deion Cole, he's a punchline comedian. Yeah. Right? Like that he's strong in that lane, right? But most of your great I don't want to, because everybody's great. But the ones that we see a lot of, right, you're always learning something from them. You can take something from them. You don't really remember a lot of the jokes of somebody who's just telling you jokes. You always remember, you always remember a joke that was part of a story. Mm-hmm. Or a stream of consciousness, right?
Well, because you can relate to that, even if you don't relate to the stream of consciousness, the whole subject, you can relate to the passion behind it, and that's why people laugh.
See, right? And that's the key word, though. Relate.
Yes.
And what we talk about? We got here, Kevin Hart. I said, man, his last one, "Laugh at My Pain," was his best one. The other two, it became unrelatable. He could have did that. He could have did a private show for all his rich.
Did you see the one that was the private show?
The one talking about the one on Netflix with his pajamas?
I think so.
Well, how are we gonna see if it was a private show and everybody saw it?
Well, but that was like the private show.
That shit was weak too. Yeah. It was weak. So bro, it was weak. So you have to stay relatable. And you can be, bro, how many people have you met who have had all the money and no people and are still grounded? Yeah. There's something and it's far and few. Yeah. But it's not possible.
But I definitely think if you at a certain level, it's just hard to be relatable with the everyday person because you just have different struggles.
That's why Eddie Murphy had to come back.
Yeah. But that's the point, like I was saying earlier about Chris Rock too. Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, they come back and because what makes them so great at their craft is that they can come back and still talk about shit that's happening in their life and make it relatable to their audience and make you laugh like a motherfucker. In gut-wrenching laughs, and to the point you can hear the chairs clanking in the background, because they can still make their lives relatable to you and me, the civilians of society.
I got a question. I got a question. So, okay, being because I watch, bro. I grew up to study something is to just surround yourself around.
Be obsessed.
I grew up around bro. When you gonna visit my family, you gonna see. Brooke be in tears, bro. Yeah. Dog, you think I'm retarded? Dog, bro. R word. Right. I don't want to offend nobody.
Listen, I hope we offend everybody and we get canceled.
Dog, right. I'm from Louisiana. I talk like this. Yeah, it is what it is.
If you get canceled, that means you can get famous. So.
I love you. If you don't love me, then I love you too. Whatever. But I've watch, bro. Love comedy. So we talk about comebacks, and we talk about being unrelatable stuff like that. Now I've never done stand up, only see that, and we only experience who we see. But being that you're at the ground foot, and now you're taking as much advice as you can, but we're talking about relatability, and you got a point. Right? So growth, right? Now we talk about you get at a certain point, you want to stay grounded. Do you start off at stand up, right? And you are now, and you can't when you're not relatable. Is it because of growth, or do you choose to not be relatable? And that came from there is far and few people who are still grounded and are very different levels in other people's lives. So does it make it hard for comeback? To stay relatable, to stand up, to do stand up, or you have to practice this muscle?
So, to answer your question, It's literally the last word you said. The whole point of writing comedy every day, like the difference between when you talk about stand-up, when you get paid, yeah, that makes you professional. But really, what makes you like the difference between an amateur and professional comedian is the fact that you just write comedy every day. You know, when you're thinking about comedy, not in the fact of trying to get rich and famous, but the fact of mastering the craft.
Right.
It is just flexing the muscle every day. So, like I was talking about earlier, to go back to the book, it talks about writing joke webs, right? And you're just writing joke webs about a word that you can associate a bunch of shit about, and then you'll associate a bunch of other shit with the other words that you've associated with. And what will end up coming back is you can write pretty funny little juxtapositions, you know, little. You take two words that are not really similar and you make them similar, and it's kind of funny. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of Shakespearean type comedy.
Yeah.
And it's like very basic, but essentially the point is that you're flexing that muscle. So then when you can get up on stage and you tell your story and you don't really have anything written down, you can still do set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline, because you flex that muscle. You understand how to do it. Right, and you can write, right? You write, and a lot of people write out their story, and that's how they work it out. You know, work on the punchlines. But you know, a lot of comedians too go up on stage with a punchline, just work on the setup while they're on stage.
But out of the growth aspect, like, so like, look at you. Like, what if, like, you know, you're in a space, boom, like you got to a comedic, like you got to a level of comedic point, like, and you done, like, so you never thought of doing stand up, and like it leads to something else. But then you want to come back to stand up. I mean, Marlon Wayans has like been going around like.
Louis C.K. is a great example of that. Louis C.K. I mean, he did stand up for 20 years, but he's also got his own TV show called Louis. Got a bunch of movies he's directed, written, produced, a bunch of movies out there. But yeah, of course, my bad. But he also went back and did his stand-up, and he got canceled for a little while, came back, did stand-up, and got a special.
What he got canceled for?
So I guess he was like showing his nuts and his dick and balls to his like secretaries. They said they're uncomfortable. I don't really know if that's actually what happened. Somebody should look it up.
Allegedly, yeah,
alleged. That could have been Bill Cosby. I really don't know, or maybe Jeffrey Epstein.
Bill Cosby.
It was definitely Bill Clinton for sure.
Oh my God.
Monica Lewinsky.
Do you hear the distinction in our voice? I sound like this. He sounds like that. You know who just said that?
Yeah, he said it.
I'm a snitch.
Yo! Wait a minute. What happened to Mom ain't raised no snitch?
My mama never told me that shit.
Yo!
I never grew up on that shit. I was civilian.
I'm an Italian. That's
different.
funny.
I'm Italian.
Yeah, that's different.
I was a civilian.
You're civilian, I'm Italian.
There's
a difference.
I'm just playing, man. I mind my business. That's what it's called.
Yo, that's the truth. I keep my head down.
Unless some kids involved, and I gotta no, what are you doing, little ass kid? No, we protect the kids and we protect women.
That's when it gets really messed up. You know what I mean? Like, that's why whenever I was a kid, like you say, you guys grew up on comedy, right? I grew up on like Criminal Minds and like horror movies and but like there wasn't a lot of watching comedy in my household. Like we watched funny movies and stuff like that because of my dad. My dad's just a funny guy. Like he was the guy that would he would like open the refrigerator, see there's food, and start dancing. You know what I mean? And doing shit like that. And like that's just who he is, But a lot of stuff that I grew up on was Criminal Minds and that stuff. So to go back to your point with the kids and the women and children, that's whenever I had to stop watching that. Was whenever what would happen was I'd watch it and like get really emotional about these scenes, especially when I found out I was having a kid.
Yeah.
And then I'd get like really horny and have to like jerk off,
Bro,
while I was watching it. And so anyways, I had to stop watching it because I was turning into a serial killer. I was thinking about like how could I do it, and I was really thinking the best way to do it if you were going to be a serial killer. I'm not trying to tell you it's bad. First off, serial killers are bad. I'm not involved
in this conversation.
First off, serial killers are bad. All right, I won't promise with that. But second, if you're going to be a good serial killer, you got to do it like the guy with the bulldog, Magnum. Like what's his name?
Oh, Magnum P.I.
No, not Magnum P.I. The guy back who was in New York in like the 70s.
Oh, I don't know.
You might. He was the white dude. He said that the dog Sam was talking to him. And it was the devil telling him that he should go out and kill everybody.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. I really don't know his name. Look it up. You got to look it up. I'm telling you, you got a computer. Look it up.
Oh my God.
He was what he did was he went around and he
Yeah, there's a bulldog.
No, so look it up. Serial killer from the 70s in New York used a Magnum gun. Just look up serial killer in New York, 70s. But he would go around and he would shoot like
David Berkowitz.
David Berkowitz, yes, thank you, sir. The son of Sam. That's right, the son of Sam. And he would use this gun and go in there and
Dirty Harry?
Dirty Harry's a movie.
Sorry,
Dirty Harry's a movie that he would use the gun 44 Magnum. But he would go and do that, and the only reason he got caught was because he talked like he would go out and like write to the New York Times or whatever and say the police are never going to catch me. So then it made the police go and catch him, right? Was because of this guy, because he would write and they ended up like catching him because of like the words he used, and they actually ended up catching him because of a parking ticket, and they found like the gun in his car or something like that.
What?
Yeah, and that's how they ended up catching the son of Sam. That's the only reason they caught him was because of some parking ticket that he got. Yeah, and he had to go to like court or whatever, and they're like, wait a minute, there's more to this guy, and he tried to get out by pleading insanity. Right, and have you ever seen the show Mindhunters?
Yep.
So he was one of the guys that they interviewed, and they were one of the first people to make him admit that it was all bullshit. That everything he was telling the psychiatrist to get pleading insanity, they were the first ones to make him go, no, it was all bullshit. It was after he was in jail, it didn't work. You know, they're like, fuck it, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. But he was like, no, actually, I did it because I wanted to and because I got off on it. And there was a reporter who ended up making a documentary that's on Netflix, and people should watch it. It's really interesting if you're interested in this stuff. And it's about this reporter who says that they actually would record him killing these people and create snuff films, which is like, pornographic films that crazy stuff. Yeah. But it would go back to like some serial killer cult that was based out of California. Guess who else was a part of it? Charles Manson. Was also ended up in this journalist. I'm totally butchering it. I don't remember his name, but it's the Son of Sam documentary on Netflix.
CIA shit.
Well, stop it. I'm about to get
no. We were talking about Deion Cole. We were talking about some bloody guts and shit.
Listen,
bro.
You had me start talking. Well, you were talking about comedy. I started talking about criminal minds.
Yeah. Ugh, bro.
It's interesting.
No, it is. No, the psychology of it, bro. Like she's like.
It's very interesting.
I'm just like, the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Like,
a lot. That's why I find it interesting.
No,
because it's either I get interested in it or I do it. So it's like I gotta get interested in it.
Yeah, just don't be interested in that no more. I'm just fucking.
I've not been interested.
Don't be Magnum.
That's why I wanted to. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's why I wanted to be in the FBI.
I remember you told me that, man. Like why did that change? He was like, never mind.
So
Obama's president again.
Yeah, chill. It was during the second term. Actually, I decided I was like, I'm not very fond of the black president. So I was like, I don't want to be in the FBI anymore.
Damn,
that's not at all what happened. Actually, it was usually when Trump was in office, and I was like, would not want to be part of that.
I guess you just don't want to do white clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, you still
the white clubs. Yeah. Talking about the Freemasons, the ones that are out there wearing the sheep heads, out there chanting around the owl.
They still do that.
They still do that.
Yeah, but what made you want to do the FBI?
Oh, well,
because of Criminal Minds?
Do the FBI, yes, pretty much. It was because I got interested in it because of Criminal Minds, and then I started researching the mind of a serial killer, and I got really interested in that.
Yeah.
Not so much like the history of
it's the psychology of it.
Yeah, but it was more the psychology behind it, and it just so happened to be all things.
Your brain wired, mother.
Yeah, but what was very interesting to me is serial killers. They all their brains are wired the same way. They're part of their brain that processes emotion is not active, and a lot of them, psychopaths, are born that way. And they're born, and there are different types of psychopaths, which is actually more recent research.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, but there's different types of psychopaths that can actually function in society, but then you have the type of psychopath that can be a serial killer. You have the type of psychopath who's a politician or a CEO of big oil companies, and those are the guys that can fire 1,000 people and be okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, they all have this same part of their brain that they can't process emotion in the same way that we can. They can still get angry, but all they think about is how can I get forward, and it's a very individual, very ego focused, mindset.
Sound like narcissism.
It's very well, and that's actually one of the traits of a person with psychopathy is narcissism. But a narcissist is not a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because a narcissist still has empathy towards themselves,
Right.
not towards other people.
Right.
But a psychopath doesn't have, or no, I'm sorry, a conscious. But a psychopath doesn't have a conscious at all. Whereas a sociopath is basically from the environment. So someone that was beaten a lot as a kid, probably molested a lot as a kid, gets really fucked up. But they were, they went through a really messed up childhood, and it doesn't happen to everybody, right? But it usually also stems from people like their parents were alcoholics, or they have deep PTSD.
Right.
They beat the shit out of them. They end up usually the alcohol will trigger their, whatever, and the kid will grow up to be a sociopath, but not because they were born that way, but because they were groomed that way. Right?
Oh, yeah, because you had
it was beat out of them.
You had to develop a defense mechanism.
And that's the defense
mechanism. That becomes the beast.
And yeah.
Really.
And how I always explain, how I like to think about it too, is the psychopath is the politician, the lawyer, the whatever, the guy who, the big CEO. The sociopath is the gangster.
Right.
The mafia guy who can just shoot you in the back of the head and keep moving on. But they have so much anger. That's why they always fall.
Right.
Because they have so much anger, but the psychopath can sit back and assess, and be logical, and they're much more like a snake, and that's why they are. That's why I'm convinced that 80% of the people who are senators and at the top are psychopaths or have like Machiavellian complex vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's.
I can see that.
Yeah, but it makes sense because that's like the type of person that job would pursue. Like, think about it. Like, you wake up and go, I'm going to run it all. I want all of this.
You got to have empathy. You got to have some form of empathy to create a society.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's been lost with a lot of the people that we, have allowed to run our society. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then that was the fucking depressing. Yeah.
It was, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta get depressed.
No, I don't want to get depressed.
You do every once in a while. You got to, but listen, you gotta be grateful for all emotions that the world is giving you. All right, sadness is one of them.
But I ain't need that one today.
Anyways,
you guys make sure you stay up, bro. Stay beautiful. I don't want y'all lightning. What?
Listen. It was interesting.
Oh, when I say it's not all love and light, well, no, man. Look. What?
Anyways,
it's good when things upset you. You want better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, what I said. Well, I did say empathy spans the world.
That's true.
Anyway, when you was so you have homework, bro. You gotta watch.
Bunch of different people. I wrote them down.
You have to watch.
So you told me Red Fox. Dion Cole.
You got Debo. You can get on Dion Cole.
Sabikwa Kabegaboo.
What's his name?
Ali Sadiq.
Yeah, Ali Sadiq. Oh my God.
Sadiq. Dick Gregory.
Yeah, Dick Gregory.
Those
two Deeks.
Yeah. I love it. You're just like. Anyways. Oh my God!
I don't even try.
Yeah.
Somebody's killing me.
Make myself laugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got one more thing I want to say. So, I had this conversation with my parents today.
Right.
And it got pretty deep. My mom was telling me she was afraid for me and feeling kind of like she like I was lost.
Right.
Because the other night we had a conversation about, what do I think about going back to school and, and everything. And I was like, well, I'd really like to, kind of pursue this joke writing as something, as a hobby for sure, and seeing where it gets me, where this takes me. And I was like, right now I'm kind of doing serving because I know it can support my family and everything and giving this joke writing an opportunity. She goes, what do you think about school? And I was like, well, honestly, I think it's a waste of time and it can be a waste of money if you don't want to do it right. And she just kind of storms off, So today she comes back with this, feeling that, I'm lost. She doesn't know what's going on. She's like almost in tears.
Right.
And my dad's there and we just start talking about this. And I'm like, I understand. Like if you feel that it's best for me to go to college, then that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like that's what, and I'm like not trying to be a smart ass. Like, that's what you feel is best for me. Then, all right, you have more experience in life than me. All right, I understand where you're coming from, and I get where this is coming from. It's coming from a place of love, and you're not really worried about me. You know I'm going to be okay because we talked about this before, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, long story short, they ended up saying that they felt that they had always given me everything that I wanted, right? And that I was this, only child that was spoiled and all this, and they'd always, been yes. And I'm like, well, I don't really agree with that, like, at all. Like, I don't think you guys are like that at all. And they're like, really? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, I think we are. And like my mom was, I'm like, well, you're like, you may think you are, but I was like, I don't think you are. And I was almost like, what's more important? But I was like, let me not say anything. But I was like, what's, with that being said, I had to sit back and assess that, right? And assess where my parents came from, and to them, relatively speaking, they did give me a lot more, and I know they did give me a lot more than what they got. Right. So then it's almost like at the point of what maybe they didn't give me what I needed,
right.
But what more can I expect? They gave me more than they got,
right?
And it's like that's all you can wish for, and maybe today was a sadder podcast, but
oh no, it's all good, man. We are some transformative energies, but go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, but no, it was just one of those. It was one of those things that you have to sit back and sometimes ponder the environment that you're in, and like to relate this to everybody. Sometimes you have to, realize where you are, where you're coming from, and how that influences your own thoughts. Because now. And because I was already contemplating this, but now I'm thinking of like, oh, maybe I'll go and do like a technical college, right? I can go do 8 months, and I'm done. You know what I mean? And get paid my 40. Yeah, exactly. Go open my own business. You know what I mean? Then I can definitely do this full time. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something that I'm thinking about. But I also came to the realization this morning that I was like, well, maybe the reason, because I thought about this. What's my motivation for doing comedy in the first place, right? Because you have to reassess that when you're doing this, because it's not always rewarding. You have to understand that motivation comes from two places. It comes from the protagonist, the goal, but it also comes from you running away from something, right? What am I running away from? I'm running away from, I don't want to be at the 9-to-5 desk life, wake up 20 years from now and feel like I wasted my existence and I wasted this everyday gift that we were given that we were talking about earlier, that you wake up every day. That's the point.
Right.
And I've wasted this because I've woken up every day for someone else.
Right.
Not for me. And I came to this realization this morning with Nyla, my baby mama, that maybe that the reason that's my biggest fear that I'm running away from is because my whole life my parents have told me that's what I need to do. How fucked up is that? You know what I mean? Like my biggest, yeah, right. And that's the thing. Whenever they've always been like, well, we've always let you want to do what you want to do, and that's where I'm like, not really, because the reason I went in the FBI and was doing college was because you told me to. You know what I mean? And that's why I did all that. And go back to your whole point earlier when you asked me about why did I leave the FBI and not want to do that anymore, was because one day I had my TSA blues on and I was looking in the mirror and I looked at myself and I go, who is this person? Who is standing in front of me right now? And that like brought a man tear down my right cheek,
Right.
And it was just, I had to sit back and realize that, because my mom brought up a good point today. Was like, you've been talking about doing the FBI since you were in 3rd grade. But I realized that I wanted to be in the FBI because I saw Criminal Minds, not because I wanted to be in the FBI.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And go be an actor. Not, you know what I mean? Go get on the show Criminal Minds. Don't go be in the FBI, because it's something totally different.
Right.
And that was something that I had to realize. I think, but again, I don't regret doing any of that, but I definitely think it was for a reason, and I think that I can now look back and go, I'm glad that I didn't go that FBI route, and wake up with those dreams sitting there going, well, you could have lived us. I didn't want to.
bro.
Sorry.
No, you good, you good. Cause you, all right. Cause man, look, cause one of the biggest reasons why like we hang, cause we're like similar. Like a lot of where you are, is where I was. Okay, I got a few points.
Do it,
like. Cause I understand everything and understand have been through what you've gone through, and then somebody who is taking their own. It's hard, like when you're battling societal and environmental opinions based off what you feel in your hearts and souls desire, like needings, your soul, like what the call is. The call is something. It's not that we're running from something. We're going towards our truest purpose. To go to how your parents may feel like, oh man, well we did all this, and it's like feel like, man, maybe they feel like they failed, and then like you on this route, right? No. No. They fed the flower what the flower needed.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know it's like they got a seed and then this flower popped up. They didn't know it was a cactus plant or a sunflower.
Yeah.
Whatever. They just gave it nutrients. They gave it everything they need. They gave it everything they need. Right? And it's just what it was. It's like, wow, bro. It's like, dang. And then like you're like, because we're so used to like, man, okay, this is daisies and daisies need this, and all right, this is cucumbers and cucumbers need this, and why would I say cucumbers?
I don't know. It's complicated.
Right? It's we like think, oh man, we think this seed is the same seed like everything else, and we expect the same thing from everything else. Like, no, you in the beginning. You gave it the nutrients and everything that it needed that you knew and what your knowledge was and how you need to take care of it. Now, when it goes and flourishes and it like becomes something more than the eyes can meet, you try to contain it and it's just going to keep growing. You did the job. They did the job. We can't be unapologetic. We can't be unapologetic of the decisions that we make. I thank my mom and my pops every day. In my shadow work, I had to learn. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not my fault. I said I couldn't. I was like, okay. My pop got his own business. My mom is very empathetic, and she's a very free spirit. Like, my family is all free spirit. So, like, I was putting all these puzzles and pieces together. I was like, yo, bruh. And I was like, I'm very appreciative of how I was brought up and all these things. And they was always encouraging me, even though they wanted me, where I'm from, go to a black college, HBCU, I'm like, I grew up a little bit, different, but not too different in the sense of values, but like some core values, like in the beginning was like, go to HBCU. Why didn't go to Southern University? Why didn't become a lawyer, doctor, go into math? You can do all these things. I was interested in none of this. I like to draw, I like art. I like to play sports. I like to do things, right? I like to help people. I like to work out. So, my personal training, I did that. People doubt what I want to do. I wanted to act. I want to do all these other. I got all these things that I want to do. I want to have this comic book. I want to go travel. But my friends used to tease me. Bro, I was like, dude, they used to tease me. I used to get teased for my ambitions and where I wanted to do because they're far-fetched. And I'm like, man, I'm going to show all y'all. But that wasn't my motivation. I was like, dude, I need, why do I think like this? I couldn't work for nobody. When I was working a job,
understand yourself. Yeah.
Dog, when I was trying to work for somebody, I was like, dog, I would have all these ideas like, what the fuck? Why are these people so stupid? I can't do this, bro. Like, I know I'm not supposed to work for anybody. Mm-hmm. So I did that trek. I did what it needed to do. And I moved out here from Louisiana. Biggest move, dude, I left everything. Like, people could have looked at anyway. People could have looked at anyway. You could have looked at it if I was running away from something. You could have looked at I don't give a fuck how people looked at it, right? But for what, like I moved out here and started at ground zero again because I started at ground zero. So of course, how I'm 21 years old at the time. I mean, coming out like I'm not in school. I'm like a personal trainer. I'm just like, dude, it looks like I'm floating, but I'm not. Dog, like when you are in, like when you take the fullest accountability, when you take the fullest like faith in yourself, and like, man, I'm just gonna do what I'm called to do, and like be the element and the elements that you are, and living in its truest nature, and taking the teachings that you needed, and being okay with learning the newness that you will. It's hard to contain because you don't want to be contained. Don't. It's not ever, bro. What you at? 23? 21? 21, bro. Bruh. Like, now, okay. I feel like you know where you want to go. There's like, I've always known where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I never had the clear picture, but I knew I had to go in a direction, and I had to stay true to that shit. When I stayed true to that shit, whether I was working in a job, whether I was, where I was job or out in the space, every conversation, every interaction catered to my soul mission. And we're called to the soul mission is no different than the young warrior leaving the nest to go out now. This is in nature, bro. To go out now and forge his own path, create his own family, build his own legacy. Because your mom and your dad built their legacy. Now I have to do it my way. It's, bro, we are in a time now. We are the most freest. It's important to be as the freest. We cannot be in 90 degrees anymore, bro. Nobody should be at fault at how they did what they did, because you only got the knowledge of what you have in moment in time and in these periods. So you're doing what you can, the best you can. Yes, everybody is doing that. And if everybody is nurtured, and everything is, all the flowers and everything is nurtured properly and grown and going through the season, man, and it's now strong, man, you let your garden flourish. Man, I got my ass whooped. My childhood was awesome. Like, my childhood was awesome. I got, I was praised when we were praised. I got my ass when I did something jacked up, man. And my family taught us, my mom and my dad taught us, my family, like how, and this is where I am today. Like, some of my family members, yeah, they went to school. Now, I do have some family members at some point, and at one point in my time, like, because I didn't go to college, because I wanted to take the entrepreneurial route, because I have a big ass vision. I was like, sorry, not sorry. Like, this is where I feel the happiest. And even at the hardest, I've always said, if I'm gonna deal with some bullshit, I'd rather deal with my own bullshit. Like, you think I'm gonna complain about my motherfucking job? I made the decision to come here. I bet. Fuck this. I don't have to take it. I'm gonna deal with my own shit, and who makes you different than me? And I got tired of seeing myself not in the space of my trueness. So I just took full accountability, man, of myself, and was okay with myself. And it's like, and I had to be okay with people disagreeing. Doesn't matter, because in the long run, everybody's gonna look back and like, damn, I can't believe I thought that. Fuck,
yeah,
I can't believe. Damn.
Well, that reminds me of a book I was reading called The War of Art, about resistance, and talking about how that exactly, like, whenever you get the most resistance from the outside world and from your internal, especially the internal, that's the thing you need to do. That's you being the truest to yourself. Is wherever you get the most resistance from.
Fucking right. Remember when you did 600?
Yeah.
Exactly. Remember you did 600?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Like, bro, you did that shit. Like, you did 600 pounds, bro. No different. Everything is started like, this is the way to go. Cool. I'm glad. Like, I see what everybody else is going through. People are going. I'm around people, and this is no offense to nobody, but I'm around people who are now trying to get back to their youth. But what their youth is the freeness of their souls. So then now people are now working to come back to the freeness of themselves. No, you've been free. Sorry, not sorry. But you chose to be free. Like Nyla, y'all are free. Y'all free. Y'all free. Y'all, bro. Y'all are free. Yeah. Y'all spiritually are free. Yeah. And you're following your soul. So it's like there's never not a doubt in your mind. There's never not a doubt in my mind that I thought I was going to fail. Now, there's certain things that may have not worked out at the time that I thought. I would even say at my lowest, man, fuck this. I ain't doing this no more. Just to see how I felt. Just to see what it sounded like. Just to see what it tastes like. Just to feel what those words taste like, if I liked it or not. Nope, didn't like, can't see it, can't quit.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
I gotta do it. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? When I created everything that I'm creating, as you're seeing right now, Soul and Nerd, I'm like, even when everything was like, what the, why is I here? Like, I wanted to give it up. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Why I gotta go through this? Like, why?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
I'm like,
yeah.
So I was like, no, fuck it. No, there's something in my heart and my soul that's just telling me to keep doing this. Telling me, I don't know what, I'm gonna just do this. So oh my God, bruh. Like, the hardest of the hard. Like, I'm like, man, fuck this. All right, man, you just the grit and the resistance, and you just gotta take it day by day, and you just gotta like rock it. And dude, when you it's much more gratitude. It's like, what is that is to create a goal in the gym and then achieve that goal is no different than taking that goal in the long path. Like, you can see progress in the gym faster, obviously, none of them mentioned, but in our life's path, you've already seen the proof of what you can do if I just follow a system that I create.
Yeah.
And follow the path of how I want to do it. What makes this path any different? Nothing.
Yeah.
You've already practiced it. So I said I wanted to get 315 pounds on squat. I got 315 pounds on squat because I followed the program. I said I want to be in front of millions of people speaking. I'm in front of millions of people speaking.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
That's how the universe kind of works. And it's like, if you put your mind to it, or you put your focus to it, you can accomplish anything.
Yes.
You just have to do it, give it time, and
so that's what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to. You don't like. It's hard. Everybody's hard, but look, y'all. Everybody chose their path. It's to everybody. Mm-hmm. You chose your path, and if you unapologetic about that, and you proud of what you have done in its pureness, and not what it's providing, then you have won. Mm. The only values that matter is that of pureness of self and family. Mm. But then with self and family, everything is together. So be true. Everybody, and it's gonna work. If I bet on myself, I cannot lose. Because I bet on a lot of other people and bet on a lot of other things, and I've lost. And I've like, I don't want to say I lost, but I've not been in the best place. Mm-hmm. So if I go the opposite end, I gotta win. Yeah. Fuck. If I'm that, sure. If I bet on myself, fucking right.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see myself losing.
Well, I mean, that's something you just hear like a lot of very successful people say. It's like, if you're gonna invest in anything, invest in yourself.
Yep.
And you will win every single time. And just put focus on whatever you want to put focus on, and you will be successful. Like I said, just give it time and be willing to go through the shit of, what because what will happen is that thing will test you.
Yep.
It goes, do you really want me? Do you really want to get in bed with me? You know what I mean? Like, do you really want to be one of the few that can do it?
Yep.
That can master this? You have to go through that.
Bro, if you lost, yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I cannot find myself if I don't get lost. Like, everybody gets lost.
Yeah.
Please believe your parents felt lost even while having you.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I'm on a new path, a new journey. You're not really lost. You're just following the trail. And it's just like, I don't see nothing familiar.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Once you become, and that, bro, as we learn and become master of self, then you know that everything is micro. So we're always searching for self. Bro, I'm 7 years old and I'm still like searching for myself. I'm ageless. Really, I'm really like 3. No, I'm about 4. Hold on, I'm about 4,000. I'm like 4,000 years old. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, bro, I'm immortal.
Like a Dalai Lama?
Yeah, bro.
I feel you. Reincarnation.
I'm 4,000 years old.
My last life, I was a roach.
I mean, that's fucked up.
Next life, that's what I'm saying. Next life, I'm probably gonna be a crow.
Shit, I ain't coming back to this bitch.
Damn, son, you're just gonna be enlightened.
No, I'm going. Enlightenment. Yeah, I want to see the next phase.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to get to.
I've been in this bitch.
I'm tired of this shit. I know.
4,000 years in this bitch.
Come on, now I'm done.
Cool, because these motherfuckers.
How do you know you've been here for 4,000 years? I know that you figured it out.
Yep, it is just me. I had I walk with, bro, even this, what we're talking about, like, I walk. Somebody asked me, are you religious? I said, no, I'm one. He said, what, I'm one? You one? I said, yes, I'm one, bro.
Yeah.
I'm one. Like, I am. Like, I don't have no religion. So, dude, dude, like, when you're connected, like, you just I live this, like, I feel it, like, you have to learn yourself. There's many aspects of you, and, like, even the truth outside of us, like, universal law, the truth must be told. So how it's told, like, you have our discernment filters out. We have a lot of filtering systems, so our discernment filters out what's real or true. Thoughts are receptions, so your thoughts are not you. So I get a lot of information from myself through the solar plexus. And then my thoughts, for the most part, come from the gut to the brain, not the brain to the gut. So before I would always go to the brain to the gut. So now I trust my gut to the brain. And through movement, I've been learning to just focus.
It's focusing on trusting your intuition
more so than my fucking thoughts, because my thoughts are not mine. So
it's interesting.
Oh, bro, I practice, like, dude, it's like, I live it, like, I keep proving myself right, like, this life right, like, I'm just, like, I try my best to live with, or be, I try my best to be, like, in my truest self, unapologetic, like, I am the genie in the bottle. I'm driving a spaceship. I know what needs to be done. I see the task. I am just giving information to the vessel, and then now playing it out because it's already done, because I've created all this. So, I do. It's the only way. It's the only way. And once people realize that, once you connect like that, the baby tells you that. The baby, think about it. The genie in the bottle. The baby is giving thoughts, giving influence to the mother. More so than the thoughts are coming to.
Yeah.
Fullest connection. That is why when women are pregnant, they glow. They are in a full connection with God for the most part, especially if you stay that connected.
Well, I mean, you're most connected with being a human in that part. I mean, there's nothing more being a woman than being human is creating another human. You know what I mean? That's something you can't top.
Yeah, but we all get lost, man. You know, dude, how many times? All right, I'm gonna say this one. So, I'm gonna use relationships for example. You know why a lot of relationships don't last? Because people don't realize when they're apart. Yeah. They only know when they're together. They go like this, oh my God, we've grown apart. Yes, because you're two people who are still discovering themselves. But you forget, let's say, oh man, it's true. How you go apart is how you go apart, but you could be in a relationship. Oh, man, I'm saying marriage, right? You're still going apart, but now you're going apart intertwined with each other. So there's going to be times where your partner is here and you're over here.
Yeah.
But you got to know that. You got to know it. And that's where every time, okay, well, fuck it. I'm going to just go. Yes.
You guys will meet back in the
You're going to meet back. Like, there's a song. I always go back to Kevin Gates' song, I'll find you again. But it happens. Me and Brooke go all through it all the time. Like, you got to know when you're apart. You got to know when you're together. But you got to know when you're together, but when you're apart. You got to know when you're apart, when you're together. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, you got to know. So it's like our connection, man. We all get lost, bro. Like, we're all like, the fuck, like, you're not the same person you were yesterday. Far from.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the point of life, though, right? It's to evolve and to,
So if we're always evolving, that's why people die, because they get stagnant and they don't know what else to do. And sometimes, like, some people get caught. Some people get stuck in one current and forget that they were supposed to be moving.
Yeah, that's true. And that's when you wake up and you're like, shit, I wasted everything.
Yep. Dude, that's why
wake up and it's over.
Don't leave this bitch with no regrets. Doesn't matter. It's all gonna work out. I was like, bro, just chill out and have fun. That is why I always tell you, bro, just have fun. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, there is a quote unquote seriousness of life, but life is to be lived. And if I'm just accepting if I'm just accepting just what is because I have to, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, and then if I want to leave something and teach something in its purest, then I would have to be myself at its purest. Mm. So in your situation, you got no choice. Yeah. Because you're bringing a child in the world, and I
thought about that.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm gonna tell my child to be the best mother he can be.
Exactly.
Because that's how you think anyway. If you do that with other people, why wouldn't you do that with your own flesh and blood? Mm-hmm. It's like,
but now you have to do it. You have to preach what you.
Yeah, it's like you would feel awful if you're telling your child one thing and you're not doing that. Yeah. Even if you was,
it's hypocritical. It's hard to do that. I mean, especially when it's with your own kid, it's different. You can do it with other people, but when it's your own kid, it takes there's just a difference there.
And bro, like, everybody goes through, like, you don't have to suffer, but we all go through our own, like, learnings. You chose to go through your own learnings, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like you said, being unapologetic.
That's where that came from. Yeah. Because I was going what you was going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything, bro, all the shit that you ever, the stuff, Swollen Nerd was created to keep me going. Yeah. Swollen Nerd was my joke writing. Yeah. Swollen Nerd, like, that's why I created. Be unapologetic you was a slogan that I used to keep me going, because I kept running into resistance and people all this other bullshit, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm like, dude, if I'm doing this, I can't be the only one. That's why it came from those places. Yeah. In the dark spaces is where the best shit comes from.
It's very true.
But then when you become the master, I like for the underworld, when you become the master of the underworld. See, everybody's afraid of their underworld. But when you become the master of the underworld and you can go and walk in that bitch and not see nothing, and you know where everything is, man, you come to the light, man, bro, master self, because all the good shit is at the bottom. Yeah. Let's go.
You have to go through that.
Come on, bro.
You have to go through that resistance to even be able to understand that in the first place.
Then you become a boss like motherfucking Dante. Yeah. Dante Inferno.
Yeah.
It's telling you, bro.
It's very true.
Yeah, bro. I mean, if y'all going through some shit like that, man, it's hard being you, but just be you. You're going to win. Trust me. Because, bro, I will tell you, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my motherfucking life. Mm. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my motherfucking life. Like, being 100%. 100%. And I've proven myself too many times to myself, but then to others. Mm. So, if I got to, like, bro, if I like you, bro, just go hard. Yeah. Yeah. Go hard now.
Yeah, that's true.
Go even harder. So go hard, y'all. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, bro. I think I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm hungry. I think we went to get some food.
Good. All right. Well, anyways, guys, Appreciate anybody that's ever listening ever.
Yep.
And
make sure y'all like and subscribe or whatever
like
do. We on Rumble too. Same thing. So we also on Rumble
and Instagram and other stuff. Instagram, and other things.
And I'll keep you guys posted on ebook. And I appreciate you all, man. I really appreciate y'all. No, thank y'all for listening. People are all listening. Thank you on this journey. Y'all just grow with us. We just doing it. And man, we just like y'all, bro. Like, do what you do, you know, and do it to the best of you. Like, we don't be knowing. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's just this one aspect of it, bro. We have a lot, like, man, so much beautiful stuff. I was talking about Swole and Nerd. Now we're at a point where we're making everything manifest and come to life so much fast, man. So, like, bro, appreciate y'all for listening. Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.